Bonjour à tous et bienvenue aujourd'hui la leçon numéro 23. Today we have lesson number 23 et aujourd'hui on va voir comment poser des questions simples en français. Today we are going to learn, today we are going to see how to ask simple questions in French. We will learn different ways of asking questions. So allez, c'est parti, on attaque. Well, look at that. This is not a dialogue, just lots of questions, lots of different ways to ask a question. Okay, so first of all, we have Tu habites où? Tu habites où? Where do you live? Where do you live? Tu fais quoi? Tu fais quoi? What you do? Tu fais quoi? What do you do? Est-ce que tu aimes? Est-ce que tu aimes? Do you like? Do you love? For example, est-ce que tu aimes le chocolat? Do you like chocolate? Quelle est ta nationalité? Quelle est ta nationalité? What's your nationality? Quelle est ta nationalité? As remember, this is one of the first four questions we saw during the beginning of this French course for beginners. Yeah. Okay. Next question is qu'est-ce que tu détestes? Qu'est-ce que tu détestes? Qu'est-ce que tu adores? Also, we can ask qu'est-ce que tu adores? Qu'est-ce que tu détestes? What you hate, what you dislike, what you love. And the last question here we have is aimes-tu le chocolat? Aimes-tu le chocolat? Do you like chocolate? As I do, because I really do love chocolate. Okay, now we are going to see different ways to ask a question in French. Well, guys, in French, you can ask a direct questions, which is subject plus the verb and the any complement, right? For example, tu aimes le sport. So here, tu is the subject. Then we have the verb, which is aime, and le sport is the complement. That means, do you like sport? The question can be like this is a question where we can answer yes or no. Oui, j'aime le sport. Non, je n'aime pas le sport. I do not like. Yes, I like. I do not like. So answer can be yes or no. Okay. And the next question, tu t'appelles comment? Tu t'appelles comment? What's your name? But in that case, we say you are named how, right? You are named how. So for that, we have the question comment because we cannot say yes or no. We have to give the answer. The third one is vous descendez à quel arrêt? Vous descendez à quel arrêt? You get off at which stop? In that specific case, you can note that the interrogative adjective is placed at the end of the sentence because it is not a yes no question, right? You are getting off at which stop, so you cannot answer like yes or no. You have to give the particular answer for it. Okay, so what I want to explain here is when I ask the answer is yes or no. Okay, so we can ask subject, verb, and complement with the question mark. But when we use an interrogative adjective like quel, comment, the answer is more specific, and we cannot, we are not going to give the answer like we or no. We are going to give the specific answer for that question. So when it's not a yes no answer, the adjective goes at the end of the sentence, and we will always start with subject, verb, etc. etc. Okay, now we will see another way to ask questions. Okay, so here we have another way to ask question in French. We can use ask also followed by the subject and a verb. Ask. Basically, it's easier to ask a question that way because like this you make sure it's a question because sometimes you can say and people will say is that really a question or that is just an affirmative sentence. So when you use ask, we make sure yes, it's a question. It's a yes no question, or we have to answer for that. Remember that most of the time ask is used for yes no question. But we can use ask with an interrogative adjective too. The only twist is that the construction of that sentence is gonna be different. For example, let's see the example here. Est-ce que tu t'appelles comment? No, no, no. We cannot ask the question this way, right? When there is an interrogative adjective here, we have comment. Comment is an interrogative adjective. So esque will follow that adjective. It should be comment and then esque. Comment est-ce que tu t'appelles? That's why we cannot say est-ce que tu t'appelles comment? We have to say because comment is it's an interrogative adjective, right? We have to start the sentence with the interrogative adjective, and then we will add ask, and after the complement the rest of the sentence, subject, verb, etc., etc., and the later the subject and the verb, right? I hope you will understood you. In French you can also use word quel, okay, quel followed by the verb être. For example, if you remember, quelle est votre nationalité? What's your nationality? Quel est ton sport préféré? What is your favorite sport? But in French, we say like, what is your sport favorite? Because adjectives they are they are placed after the noun. Okay, so be careful. And here we have used quel. If you can see in the first sentence we have used quel, and in the second one with the nationality we have used the different form which is quelle. So we have four forms of this quel, which is quel, queels, and queelles. Depending on the gender and the number of the noun used, we are going to use the appropriate word to ask the question. Like here in the first example, sport is a word which is masculine singular. So we have used the masculine form, which is quel. In the second one, the nationality is feminine. So we are using queelle, which we use for the feminine singular nouns. Then third example we have is quels sont vos symptômes? What are your symptoms? So we have used the third form, which is masculine plural. Why? Because the word symptoms is a plural masculine word. Okay, their pronunciations are exactly same, like we have kel, and kel for all four. But while writing, you have to be very careful for which noun with which noun you are using which form. Okay, so the spelling should be correct that way. And in the last question, of course, if you notice here, quels sont. So here we have used the plural adverb conjugation. Why? Because in the previous sentences, quel est, what is, we are asking what is your sport, what is your nationality. So if you are asking for the singular, that will be quel est. And if your question is like what are, like here the question is what are your symptoms, so symptoms is plural. That's why we are changing the conjugation also of adverb, which will be quels sont, not quel est. So be careful which form to use for the singular, masculine plural, what are their spellings, and the verbs conjugation as well, if for it is for singular and or if it is for plural, right? Okay, another way to ask question in French, we can use qu'est-ce or quoi. Okay, like if you want to ask what, so we have two ways, qu'est-ce or quoi. They are exactly same. If we have the first question, qu'est-ce que tu fais le samedi? Le samedi, tu fais quoi? What are you doing or what you do on Saturdays? So we have qu'est-ce and quoi. The difference is well, to start the question, you are going to use qu'est-ce, and to end, you are going to use quoi. Okay, you can choose one or the other. It's just up to you, the one you prefer. The meanings are exactly same. What you do on Saturdays, what you do. Just to start the question, we are going to use qu'est-ce, and to start after the verb, we are going to use quoi. Et finalement, finally, we have another way of asking or framing the questions in French. In French, you can reverse the verb and the subject for a more formal question. Okay, so just take a basic direct question, the one I use a lot. Do you like chocolate? Vous aimez le chocolat? Okay, vous aimez le chocolat. Instead of saying vous aimez le chocolat, I'm writing maybe a letter or I'm in a really formal context. Instead of saying vous aimez le chocolat, I can write aimez-vous le chocolat. Okay, remember I can say aimez-vous le chocolat, and using this like I'm at 100% sure that it's a question, right? Because with the affirmative sentence with vous aimez le chocolat question mark can be a bit confusing, though it's an affirmative sentence or what, it's a question. But yes, like if we are using s, so we are very much sure yes it's a question. The same way if we are using the inversion, that means yes we are again very much sure that yes it is a question. So that's the same thing with ask. Right now, what we have to do, like vous aimez, we have the construction like subject and verb. We have to just reverse their positions, and instead of vous, I'm using the verb which is aimer, and then instead of verb in the previous sentence, I'm using the subject with hyphen. That is called inversion. We are just changing their placements, and the question mark with like with the remaining statement with the object, we put the question mark. So here, aimez-vous le chocolat? Do you like the chocolate? Next example we have like uh, generally it is used for the yes or no answer. Like, do you like chocolate? Yes, I like. Aimez-vous le chocolat? Do you like chocolate? Yes, I like, or I do not eat. Okay. After that, pouvez-vous m'aider? Can you help me? Pouvez-vous m'aider? This is an inversion. But with inversion, we cannot use ask. Be careful. If I'm doing the inversion, like if I'm changing the place, in that case, we cannot put the ask. I cannot say pouvez-vous ask m'aider? No, it is only with inversion. If you want to use ask, then ask will be added just before the affirmative statement, which is vous aimez le chocolat, vous aimez le chocolat, vous pouvez m'aider, and just before that we have to place the ask. So overall, in French, we have like three ways of asking the question. The simple affirmative statement with the question mark. For example, vous aimez le chocolat with the question mark, and the tone is in a question form. Vous aimez le chocolat? You like the chocolate. Second way we have using S just before the affirmative sentence. Vous aimez le chocolat, and before that we have to put ask. Ask vous aimez le chocolat? Question mark, and that is another way to ask the question. And third, we have with inversion, which is like, aimez-vous le chocolat? Do you like the chocolate? So all these three questions, they have the exact same meaning, only the ways are quite different. Okay, guys, now it's time for the live exercise. So I'm gonna share some answers. You will write, you will tell me the questions. Well, you can write your answers in the comment box. If you have any question, if you have any doubt, yes, you can always write in the in the chat box. You can write in the comment box, or if you want, you can ask in the Telegram group as well. Okay, on commence, we start. The first answer here is j'habite à Paris. J'habite à Paris. I live in Paris. J'habite à Paris. Je m'appelle. My name is. Je m'appelle. And then the name. Je m'appelle Oni, par exemple. Moi, je m'appelle Oni. Third answer. Oui, j'adore le chocolat. Oui, j'adore le chocolat. Yes, I like chocolate. Yes, I adore chocolate. Yes, I love chocolate. Next question, le samedi, je me repose. Le samedi, je me repose. On Saturdays, I just take rest. Okay? Tu es prêt? Are you ready with the answers? Let's discuss. So the first one is j'habite à Paris. I live in Paris. The questions can be tu habites où? Tu habites où? Où habites-tu? Or it can be où est-ce que tu habites? Où est-ce que tu habites? Second one, je m'appelle Honey. My name is Honey. So the question can be, tu t'appelles comment? Tu t'appelles comment? Comment tu t'appelles? Or, comment est-ce que tu t'appelles? Third one, oui, j'adore le chocolat. The questions can be, tu aimes le chocolat? Est-ce que tu aimes le chocolat? Or with inversion, aimes-tu le chocolat? Fourth one, le samedi, je me repose. On Saturdays, I take rest. Le samedi, tu fais quoi? Le samedi, tu fais quoi? And qu'est-ce que tu fais le samedi? Qu'est-ce que tu fais le samedi? Bravo tout le monde, magnifique. So today we have learned how we can ask different types of questions in French. The next lesson we are going to learn, that is going to be the last one of this complete French course for beginners. We will learn how to talk about holidays. So we will learn how to talk in past tense. Do not miss it. That's going to be very important. And remember that you have to download all the PDFs. Go to the Telegram account. Don't forget to like and subscribe the channel. It's always lovely for you to do that. Okay, merci beaucoup. Bonne journée. Salut.